Peace and blessings, everyone. Welcome to Spotlight. I'm Ejuenka, and we have a very interesting program for you tonight. I have our good brother Kimora Harrigan, Managing Director of Clean Air Solutions. We're going to be talking about mold. Why, the past few years we've had this sudden onslaught of mold in the territory. I remember when I was growing up, I didn't know what mold was, but we want to know how come all of a sudden we have all this mold, what's causing the mold, what can we do to prevent the mold, and how can we have cleaner air solutions. So we're going to be talking to Kimora Harrigan about that. We're going to also have Imam Khalil Cave. He is the Imam of the BVI Islamic Society, and he's going to be talking about the building of the mosque in Horse Path. It was in the news a few weeks back, I think last week or a week before, where there's been some resistance from the community in Horse Path that wants to prevent the mosque from being built, Islamic mosque from being built there. We're going to talk to him about why he wants to put the mosque there, what are some of the issues and the community concerns, and what's the way forward, and how those issues can be amicably resolved. So you keep it locked right here, the Spotlight. We're going to take a break for a word from our sponsors, and when we come back, we're going to come back with Managing Director of Clean Air Solutions, Mr. Kimora Harrigan. We're going to talk about mold. Yes, you always want to talk about mold, right? Keep it locked right here, the Spotlight. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Spotlight is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Clarence Thomas Limited, the BVI Tourist Board, and CCT Global Communications.
Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm here with Kimora Harrigan. He's the Managing Director of Clean Air Solutions. We're going to talk about mold. We've been hearing a lot about mold in the news, and we want to try to get a handle on it. My brother, welcome to Spotlight. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, good. Clean Air Solutions. Tell us a little bit about Clean Air Solutions. What is that?
Well, it's actually AC company. We deal with AC cleaning, AC sales, mold remediation, mold removal. Most people are more familiar with that. Air quality testing, consulting, that type of thing. That's basically it. Proper designs, sustainable designs for, buildings or...
So you go around putting in air conditioning in buildings and keeping them and maintaining them?
And maintaining them from your small split unit to a 10-ton train unit.
Okay. So you do big buildings as well, and all.
We have been fortunate to do a few. Yes.
That's cool. Now we've been hearing, of course, a lot about mold in the schools, and I don't know. It must be mold at some places, but somehow we only hear about mold in the schools.
Well, there's mold all over, but you see, it's a hot topic now because it has an emotional attachment. When you talk about your children and seniors and that type of thing, people get more emotionally attached. So it's more serious, so to speak. So, but I mean, we've been hearing about admin for the past decade?
Well, yes, for quite a while.
Yes. That's the more,
That's a more capital of the BVI.
You said it, not me. So basically, it's always been an issue. A lot of buildings. I got in trouble with this a few years, but a lot of buildings in the BVI are designed to fail. They're just boxes, and the boxes are getting bigger.
And when you say designed to fail, what do you mean by that? Fail in what sense?
In the sense that not enough attention is put to the HVAC system, meaning basically your AC system.
Say that again.
HVAC. Well, basically in the BVI, we only deal with AC, so I can leave the heating part out of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So spell that out for me. The HEAC.
Heating, ventilation, air conditioning.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're not designed to deal with that.
Exactly.
And they're not designed to deal with air conditioning, since we don't have a heating. We don't need heating.
We don't need heat. The biggest issue that we're facing is excessive humidity in buildings and in spaces. Mold is not the problem. Mold is a symptom of a bad condition. Whether it's excessive humidity, whether it's poor pressure in the building pressurization. You have negative and you have positive. When a building is under negative pressure, every time a window or a door opens, it's pulling unconditioned, unfiltered air into the space. So that's going to create humidity.
No, you're gone technical.
I'm
and
not too fast, sorry.
Yeah, not too fast, but is that I have a clue what you're talking about. When you say a building, pressurization in a building, what do you mean by that?
Okay. Every building has a negative or either a positive pressure. If the building is under positive pressure, when you open the door or open a window, air should be pushing out, ideally. When it's under negative pressure, every time you open the door or window, it's pulling or sucking air in. I don't know, you travel. Have you ever been to the States and you walk into a mall or a building and you feel this rush of cold air?
Yes.
Most times they have mechanisms in place to keep that hot air or humidity from entering the space. That building is under positive pressure.
So how do you create a building with positive pressure or negative pressure?
No, that's really technical. We'll be here all night.
Okay. So when a building is designed, the architect has to take all these things into consideration, and what that has to do with wind flows.
No, it's just the
where the pressure coming from. I mean, where is this pressure? I mean, how is a building get pressurized?
Okay, well, let's say it like this. When you design a building, you need to have a proper mechanical engineer design the AC for the space instead of just putting in a unit just for cool air.
Okay.
Because what happens is the building is just getting air pumped into it. You understand? So there's no sort of regularization going on, and that creates a problem.
Okay, I think so. The pressurization is in relationship to the air conditioning system.
Exactly.
All right,
exactly.
Cool. I got you. I missed that part in school. I mean, I missed that part from the beginning.
I understand.
Okay, cool. So because of the negative pressurization, it creates a situation where there's humidity.
Yeah. Remember, we're in the tropics. We deal with humidity all year round, most times. So if you have a space and you're not controlling that humidity, let's put it like this. Let me put it in layman terms. And we can go back to admin as an example. Every day, gallons of water coming into the building, coming into the space. If that water is not, dealt with, it's in the form of humidity. It's gonna go somewhere, whether in the carpet, in the ceiling tiles, on the walls. It has to find somewhere to settle. And when it does, you're creating a condition for mold.
So mold grows out of that humidity that settle on the carpet and on the walls and
exactly
and so on.
It's like homes in the hillside. You may have a closet that's not getting any sunlight or any fresh air or any type of thing like that. So once it gets humid in that space, you're gonna get mold. I hear people complain about they're losing their shoes or their jacket has been in the closet and now mold is on it.
Yes.
The mold destroyed their clothes and it's the condition.
Okay, so mold is a symptom of
a bad condition,
bad ventilation, bad air circulation, and too much humidity.
Exactly.
Okay, so how do you prevent that from happening now?
That's the tricky part. No, there's different prevention tips depending on your application, meaning commercial building, home, that type of thing.
Let's say home. That would probably be the majority of us homeowners want to prevent mold.
Well, it's tough because there's different poor conditions. If you have a closet that's in the back of the house where no sunlight gets to or there's no ventilation, it's really tough to
prevent mold from coming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, there's certain mold inhibitors that you can put in your paint, and you could paint your walls and that type of thing. Most times when people see mold, they think, okay, I need to go buy me an air purifier. No, your best bet is to probably get a dehumidifier, preferably one that alarms you when it's full with water, so it doesn't leak over and cause a mess. So
a dehumidifier. And you could put that in the room, and that would take the humidity out and doesn't
and try to keep the air dry
and don't create the conditions for mold to grow.
Exactly.
Okay. How harmful is mold?
Oh, there are many different types of mold. I don't want to scare anybody, but respiratory issues, cancer is there, dizziness. Some people have fatigue. You know, different persons are more susceptible than others. You know, from children to a teenager to a 65-year-old. You know, or somebody who's asthmatic or somebody who's not. That's why most times you have a lot of conflict in office spaces where one person can say, I don't know what she complaining about. I don't feel nothing. It's fine to me. You know, or you might be in your corner office and you're cold and you decide to open up the window, you know, because you're too cold, you know, and then you create another issue because you're letting humidity in. It's a whole slew of things.
Okay. Now you also clean mold, you maintain air conditioning, and you you brought some pictures with you about to show dirty ducts and air conditioners and the mold buildup and what that looks like. Let's take a look at some of those pictures, and perhaps you could go through the pictures and tell us what we are seeing regarding the mold condition.
No problem. No problem.
Okay.
This is your typical air handler that wasn't maintained for quite some years. We were called in to do some remediation work. They could scroll through them quickly. I could explain. The material that you see there is the insulation. What I had recommended is that all that be clean, proper remediation, and we introduce a
the yellow thing there is the on the background appear to be yellow on the television.
That's insulation.
That's insulation.
And the brown and black part is dirt and mold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So all that had to be ripped out, you know, cleaned out. Those are my guys inside.
So you need to wear protective covering,
of course,
to deal with this, because you don't want
it on your skin. You don't want to breathe it in. It's very harmful. This is your after effect. This is your closed cell material, and I choose white because moving forward you could see anything that could grow, anything. But this closed cell, it doesn't allow mold growth or anything on it. So they're in much better shape.
That's a special material.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This is a blower wheel in that same unit, and this is after.
So that's when it's cleaned out.
Exactly.
You just got to paint the pipe.
Well, we deal with rust issues. This is your typical fiberboard, ductboard surface, molded. That's already contaminated. You have to change that out. It can't be cleaned.
And that's the clean part there.
Yeah, this is a brand new ductboard. You see the black surface, how it's covered. That's a mold inhibitor to prevent further mold growth. But again, even when you clean, nothing is sustainable unless it's fixed or cleaned properly. This is your typical flex duct full of mold. We see this all the time. This one was a real bad case right here. This was years of lack of maintenance. Dust, mold as well. What you see here, some filters. You know, a lot of companies, a lot of buildings, they use these inferior filters. That's not good for your coils. The coils in the unit need to be kept clean, and proper filtration is a good way to prevent that. Let me see. You see the coil on the unit is in very bad shape. So we had to go in and clean all that up. These are your typical split units, wall units.
So this is what we have up on, like in the ceiling, or like high up on the wall.
Exactly.
I mean, if you could, can we go back to that one before?
And most
that is awful.
Yeah, that's really bad. And
so that hasn't been clean for years.
It hasn't been clean. And I tell my clients, don't be fooled. When companies come in and they want to do cleaning, and you see they take 10-15 minutes, pull filters, go outside, wash them off with a little water, and bring them back. Your unit is not clean. The coil needs to be clean. That's my guy cleaning the coils right now. The blower wheel needs to be clean. You need what's called like a deep cleaning, chemically clean. And this is your after effect.
So you have something you spray in there, or you wash it out with a chemical that goes on there to inhibit the mold in the future.
Exactly. All biodegradable, because you don't want to contribute to any poor indoor air quality.
Well, that's I mean, I've I've never seen that before. That's quite a view.
Yeah.
So your prescription is that first you put in the right system,
Exactly.
and maintenance is most important.
Very important, very important. A lot of times, and I don't want to point fingers, but a lot of times we just build a shell, and, whether it's the landlord or property owner, and then the client would come in and put the AC in, or maybe the client would come and the AC will already be there. But you as the client, you may want to put, a conference room in the corner here, 2 enclosed offices over here. So that original application for the AC is no more viable for that space, so.
But once you're changing the space use, you've changed the application for the AC.
Exactly.
And those things need to be taken into consideration
Exactly.
when you build
a building.
Mm-hmm.
But we in the BVI, you build a building and then next year you see there's a clinic there. No, from the scratch, you need to design, okay, we're going to have a clinic here. We need to have proper filters, MERV 8 filters or MERV 16. There's going to be a conference here. There's going to be bathrooms over here. We're going to be doing dentistry in this area. So, you know how to put the AC. You know where to, to put things. But again, keep in mind, nothing is sustainable unless it's cleaned or fixed properly. And nothing can be sustained unless you have some sort of maintenance program in place.
So maintenance is really the operative word here.
Exactly.
Regularly scheduled maintenance, cleaning and maintaining your air conditioning unit and maintaining the air quality in your space.
Exactly. When you think about it, Ajuwenka, when you build a building, 20% of your cost goes into the AC. And moving forward, 50% of your budget, is pulled from AC use as far as energy consumption.
Mm-hmm.
So the prudent thing to do is to maintain that system and keep it running properly. Not only for a person's health, which is very important because you can't put a figure on anybody's health,
mm-hmm.
but the sustainability of their unit. And
for the economy of your business.
Exactly.
If it's a building for rent.
It's exactly.
You fall on it turn the clock. Perhaps you could give the viewing audience name of your company and a phone number where they can get in touch with you if they want to for you to give them advice, consult with you about bringing clean air to their space, putting in air conditioners, maintenance program, cleaning the mold, some of the mold,
okay.
and keeping it away where they don't have some of the challenges that we have in our schools.
Exactly. Well, again, my name is Kimura Harrigan, Managing Director of Clean Air Solutions. You can reach me at 542-5212.
That's cool. Thank you, my brother. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, all of this. We're going to take a break for a word from our sponsors. We're going to come back with Imam Khalil Cave, the Imam of the BVI Islamic Society. We're going to be talking about the proposed mosque to be built in Horse Path. Don't go away. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors. Keep it locked right there to Spotlight.
Spotlight is brought to you by Virgin Island Motors, Tortola Concrete Limited, Bolo's High Tech Printery, and H. Lavity Stout Community College.